Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into a concept that's not just buzzworthy, but really fundamental for anyone aiming to make a real impact in the modern world of SaaS. Especially if you're maybe a younger professional looking to, accelerate your career. It's all about product-led growth, or PLG.
Exactly. What we're seeing is this significant power shift. It's no longer just about how persuasive your sales team is.
Right.
The product itself, it's taking center stage now in how companies acquire, convert, and, grow their customer base. Think of it like making your product its own best salesperson.
Yeah, that makes sense. The old playbook, relying heavily on traditional marketing and big sales force, it's facing some serious headwinds.
It really is.
For one thing, the cost. Just reaching potential customers through those channels keeps climbing. But maybe more importantly, buyers today, whether they're individual users or like massive enterprises, they increasingly want to get their hands on a product first. They want to experience the value before they commit.
That's such a crucial point. We've definitely seen a rise in that try before you buy mentality. It's not just B2C anymore. It's crept right into B2B.
Oh, absolutely.
People are just used to that seamless experience with their personal tech, and they expect the same thing at work now. That puts a lot of pressure, on SaaS companies to deliver value up front.
So today's mission, really, is to give you a solid foundation in PLG. We'll break down what it is, why it's become such a game changer, particularly for ambitious folks listening, and give you some practical starting points. How you can think about applying these ideas even if you're completely new to the whole concept. Okay, let's jump in. What exactly is product-led growth?
Okay, so in simple terms, product-led growth is basically a strategy where the product itself drives customer acquisition, conversion, and also expansion.
Right, the whole life cycle.
The whole thing. It's all about focusing on the end user, building a product that delivers so much value up front that people, while they naturally want to use it, pay for more of it eventually, and even tell others about it.
Like those tools you use every day, maybe.
Exactly. Like a note-taking app, maybe it has a generous free tier. It works well, solves your problem, and then maybe as your needs grow, you think, I'll upgrade for those extra features. That's PLG in action right there.
This is a pretty significant departure from the more traditional sales-led approach, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Massively different. In a traditional sales-led model, the sales team is the primary engine for revenue.
Sure.
And look, that can be effective, but it can also create friction. You're relying on human interaction at pretty much every stage. That can slow things down, and it definitely drives up the cost of acquiring each customer, your CAC. PLG tries to streamline all that by making the product the hero.
Okay, so if a company's really embracing PLG, what are some of the telltale signs? What are the core principles we'd see?
Right. There are a few key ingredients you typically look for. First, most PLG companies offer some form of free access. That could be a freemium model. A basic version is free forever, or maybe a free trial, full access, but for a limited time. The point is letting users experience the product's value directly.
Without talking to anyone.
Exactly. Which leads to the second point. The product needs to be designed to be intuitive. Users should be able to quickly get started and see that value without needing a salesperson to hold their hand.
Makes sense.
Then your marketing efforts shift. They focus on getting the product into the hands of potential users, encouraging that trial. And crucially, maybe most importantly, the success of the end user is paramount. If they don't find the product genuinely helpful and valuable, the whole model just, it falls apart.
It really feels like this lines up perfectly with what we were saying earlier, this whole consumerization of IT idea.
It does.
Even for complex work software, people now expect that same ease of use, that instant gratification they get from, their favorite mobile app.
Exactly right. B2B users just aren't willing to put up with clunky, difficult software anymore. They want tools that are not only powerful, but actually, a pleasure to use.
Right.
And this shift in expectations, it's a huge tailwind for PLG. And what's fascinating is this isn't just about making users happy, though that's important.
Yeah.
It often leads to really strong business outcomes. Companies that successfully implement PLG often see significantly higher valuations compared to those sticking with traditional sales models. OpenView Partners, for example, they've reported that product-led businesses can be valued over 30% higher.
Wow, 30% higher. That's really compelling. So for our listeners, especially those younger professionals who are keen to learn and grow in their careers, why should PLG be right at the top of their radar? How can understanding this give them a real advantage?
Well, because PLG offers solutions to some of the biggest challenges facing the SaaS world today, things like those rising customer acquisition costs we mentioned, and the changing way people actually want to buy software. So if you understand how to build a sustainable growth engine through the product itself, that makes you incredibly valuable to any tech company. You're talking efficiency, scalability, aligning the product directly with business growth. It's fundamental.
So it's really about being smarter with resources, right? Instead of just pouring huge sums into marketing and sales teams.
Exactly.
You're investing in a product that in many ways becomes its own acquisition and retention engine.
Precisely. And think about it. When users genuinely love a product, when it solves a real problem for them, they naturally become your best advocates.
Word of mouth.
Absolutely. They'll recommend it to colleagues, share it within their networks, and sometimes the product's design itself can encourage this sharing, creating these viral growth loops.
Yeah.
Think about a collaborative tool like a design tool or a document editor. It just becomes more useful the more people you invite in.
Yeah, we see this in action all the time now. Look at something like Zoom.
Perfect example.
Getting started is incredibly easy.
Yeah.
Right. And even upgrading to a paid plan, for most users, it's a self-service thing right within the app. There's no high-pressure sales call involved for the average user.
Yeah, exactly. Smooth, product-driven. So, okay, for someone listening who might be thinking, all right, this PLG stuff sounds interesting, but how do I actually start applying these ideas where I work? What's your advice? Where do they begin?
That's a great question. It really truly begins with deeply understanding your users. Who are they? What specific problems are they trying to solve?
Back to basics.
Totally. A successful PLG strategy isn't about just adding fancy features because you can. It's about building something that genuinely addresses a real user need. Think back to Slack. It wasn't created as some grand enterprise solution initially. It started as an internal tool, built by a team that was just frustrated with the communication tools they had.
Right, scratching their own itch.
Exactly. Or Expensify, they laser focused on that very specific, very universal pain point of dealing with expense reports.
Yeah, everyone hates expense reports. So that user centricity, that's the bedrock. If you don't have a product that solves a real problem well, none of the PLG tactics will matter much.
True.
Okay, so once you have that strong product market fit, the next key thing is offering some kind of free entry point, like we mentioned, maybe freemium.
Okay, like Miro.
Exactly. Miro is a great example. Very functional free tier for individuals, small teams. It lets people collaborate visually. Then paid plans unlock more advanced stuff. Or you could go the free trial route.
Like Basecamp.
Yep, Basecamp offers a trial, gives teams full access to experience all the project management features before they have to commit to paying. It generates really engaged leads.
Got it. And it's not just about having a free option, right?
Yeah.
It's making sure users quickly get that aha moment, that time to value or TTV we mentioned. How do companies shrink that?
Yeah, TTV is critical. It's all about making it incredibly easy and fast for new users to realize the core benefit your product offers. Think HubSpot's website grader tool.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right. You put in your URL and boom, almost instantly, you get a valuable report with actionable insights. No big sign-up hassle first.
Nice.
Or look at Notion's onboarding. When you first sign up, they give you pre-populated templates, interactive tooltips. They guide you through key features and show you what's possible right away. Super fast value.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because a clunky or complicated sign-up process, that could just kill adoption before it even starts, can't it?
Absolutely. Onboarding friction is a huge conversion killer. Smart companies work hard to reduce it. UserPilot, for instance, they offer single sign-on, makes it way easier to get started.
Simple but effective.
Or GivoChat, they actually delay the email verification step.
Oh.
Get the user in the product first, let them see the chat widget work, then ask for verification. Little things like that matter.
Okay. And once they're in?
Then it's crucial to provide guidance within the app. Help them understand how to use it effectively. Slack does this well with its helpful little in-app notifications and tips.
Mm-hmm.
And Figma has what they call secondary onboarding guides that pop up over time to introduce more advanced features as you seem ready for them. Keep people learning and engaged.
Right. Keep them discovering more value. Now, what about leveraging your existing users? Getting them to bring in new ones. We mentioned virality.
Yeah, building virality into the product itself can be incredibly powerful. It means designing it so users are incentivized to invite others, often because their own experience gets better when more people join.
Okay, like how?
Envision is a good example. They make it super easy for designers to share interactive prototypes with clients or teammates for feedback. Naturally, those clients and teammates get exposed to Envision, potentially becoming users themselves.
Clever. Now, PLG isn't just a one-time setup, right? It's ongoing.
Yeah.
How do companies using this model make sure they're constantly improving, meeting users' needs as they change?
A tight feedback loop. Absolutely essential. You need to be constantly gathering feedback surveys, in-app prompts, user interviews, community forums, you name it.
And then actually using it.
Exactly. That's the key part. Turning that feedback into actionable insights that inform product development and improvements. Companies like Zapier are really good at this. They actively solicit feedback and show users they're listening. It builds huge trust.
That makes sense.
And building a strong digital community around your product, like UserPilot has done, can also be invaluable. It fosters loyalty, it's another source of insights, and users often start helping each other out.
We've touched on some really great examples already, but maybe let's just run through a few more, highlighting their specific PLG strategies, just to really hammer these concepts home.
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned HubSpot using that grader tool as an acquisition magnet. Super smart. Miro's freemium model fuels that organic viral spread. Basecamp uses free trials strategically to find those really engaged product qualified leads.
Right. And UserPilot focusing on smooth onboarding with SSO, plus their community.
Yep. Notion's personalized onboarding is brilliant for cutting down that time to value.
And GivoChat delaying email verification that focus on tiny friction points.
It all adds up. Figma's collaborative features are inherently viral, driving growth. Loom has that interesting reverse trial model, starts free, then limits features, creating a bit of FOMO to encourage upgrades.
Clever.
Zapier, as we said, really dedicated to that user feedback loop, building trust. Then you have giants like Slack.
Yeah, Slack's a classic.
Great onboarding, very non-salesy feel, and their fair billing system, you only pay for active users. That perfectly aligns their growth with the value customers get. Plus, their freemium tier lets teams experience it before needing to pay for scale.
And Expensify.
They cleverly targeted end users first with freemium, right? Solve their pain, then monetize later with features for the accounting teams. And again, per active user pricing helps them expand as usage grows within a company.
Dropbox too, right? They're known for being very data-driven about which features to monetize, always balancing user happiness and revenue.
Absolutely. Typeform does something cool, letting you actually build a form before you even sign up. Talk about immediate value. Focuses on that conversational feel.
Datadog making complex monitoring feel intuitive, easy sign-up. Even Meetup shifted towards PLG for their B2B side, focusing on the pain of managing multiple groups.
And you can't forget ones like Calendly or SurveyMonkey. Both nail a specific user pain point and just took off, partly due to the viral nature of sharing scheduling links or surveys.
Right.
It's such a diverse set of examples, really shows how these core PLG principles can work across different types of SaaS businesses, different markets.
Definitely. Okay, so let's say someone listening is feeling really inspired by all this. They want to develop real expertise in PLG. What are the key skills they should focus on building?
Great question. There are several critical ones. First and foremost, deep user empathy. You have to be able to truly understand your users, their needs, their frustrations, how they actually get value from your product.
So really putting yourself in their shoes.
Exactly. And closely related is product thinking. That's the skill of designing features and user experiences that naturally drive acquisition, activation, retention, referral, the whole PLG funnel. Data analysis is also crucial. You need to be comfortable digging into user behavior data, interpreting it, finding opportunities for optimization and growth, and specifically understanding key PLG metrics.
Like what?
Things like activation rate, time to value, TTV, churn rate, free to paid conversion rate. Those are your bread and butter.
So this sounds like a very iterative, data-informed process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which leads to the next skill, experimentation and iteration. You need that mindset of constantly testing hypotheses, running experiments, learning from the data and user feedback, and then improving. It's never done.
Right.
And because PLG touches so many parts of a business, strong cross-functional collaboration skills are vital. You'll be working closely with product, engineering, marketing, customer success. Everyone needs to be aligned on the PLG goals.
Makes sense. Can't do it in a silo.
Definitely not. Then having a solid understanding of the different freemium and free trial models, when to use which, how to structure them effectively, that's key. Familiarity with growth hacking principles can also be really valuable. Finding those creative, often low-cost ways to drive user growth. And finally, especially for long-term engagement and loyalty, community building skills are becoming a really significant asset.
Wow. Okay. That's a great list of skills to focus on.
Yeah.
This has been an incredibly insightful dive into product-led growth. It's really clear that it's a powerful approach shaping the future of SaaS, and it offers some fantastic opportunities for people looking to build successful careers in tech.
It truly does.
Right.
Honestly, understanding these principles and how to apply them can give you a real competitive edge in the job market and within your company.
Yeah.
I'd really encourage everyone listening to start thinking, how can you bring a more product-led perspective to your current role? It doesn't matter what team you're on, there are always opportunities.
Exactly. Taking a look at some of the examples we discussed today, think about how their strategies might be adapted, maybe even in a small way, where you work. Start small. And on that note, here's a final thought for you to maybe mull over. How can you help architect your product experience so it becomes the most effective, most persuasive salesperson your company actually has?
Ooh, good one.
Maybe even think about one small, concrete, product-led experiment you could propose, or maybe even initiate yourself. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.